There was a time when I was handsome. There was a time when I had money to burn. There was a time when where I landed, it was the least of my concern. But it hurts to lean back in handcuffs, like 9 kinds of shame turned to rage. As a younger man, I might have put up a fight, but I just feel like such a fool at my age. Some of this trouble just finds me. Don't matter where I turn. How do you know when it's too late? How do you know when it's too late? How do you know when it's too late to learn? You know the number one symptom of heart disease? The number one symptom of heart disease is sudden death. It's like time stands still forever till it starts shaking around on you. It starts shaking around like some crazy old hooker on meth. And you know me, I can't take no preaching. Not on Sunday and no other day. But I feel like I ought to be praying or something. And I have no idea what I'd say. I'd say some of this trouble just finds me. Most of this trouble I earn. How do you know when it's too late? How do you know when it's too late? How do you know when it's too late to learn? I've learned nothing out here on this highway, but I have been passed by, and I have passed by more than my share of cars. And I do remember back in my younger days when I was so certain that driving even faster was what was gonna get me far. So there ain't nothing left for me to learn here. It's just this half full, a half empty cup, less than an ounce of possession shit. I could do that kind of time standing up. Some of this trouble just finds me. No matter where I turn. How do you know when it's too late? How do you know when it's too late? How do you know when it's too late to learn? Well, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me up there? Is this thing working? Is this thing on? Is this thing working? Is this thing on? In the hallway of a high school, anywhere USA, there was a bully that would pick on a different kid. It seemed like every day, a pack of back-slapping buddies laughing and backing him all the way. His screaming girlfriend making him believe in everything he'd say. Is this thing working? Is this thing on? Is this thing working? Is this thing on? Then one day some kid who he'd beat up a couple times before realized to even his surprise he probably could indeed take more. And with that he hatched the evil plan, he gonna make that devil pay. He walked up to him in the middle of the gym and he found the nerve to say, he said, "You gonna hit somebody? You gonna hit me too. In fact, you're gonna hit me every day because now I'm picking on you. And as crazy as this might sound right now, I ain't stopping until I get through. It's too late to beg for mercy. There ain't nothing that you can do. Is this thing? Is this thing? Is this thing working? Is this thing? Well, that bully, he just laughed and laughed, of course. So did all of his friends. And he beat that kid unmercifully for days and days on end. Only slightly less impressively to that girl and all of his friends, who would eventually secretly start hoping that the kid might win. Is this thing working? Is this thing on? Is this thing working? Is this thing on? Say this because he thinks that we still don't know. But winning that battle every day cost our bully the war a long time ago. And of all the scars that he got to show for every blow that kid sneaks in, the worst one's knowing that tomorrow he's gonna have to get up and fight that kid again. Is this thing working? Is this thing? Is this thing working? Is this thing on? Is this thing working? Thing on. Is this thing working? Is this thing on? Well, there's a Coke machine glowing through a parking lot. Call that a room with a view. So it's the best night of pool that I ever shot. I made a lot of money too, looking for some company in the weekly scene. I seen that it just had to be you. Hadn't seen you since New Orleans. Never did figure out where you'd run off to. I know I looked bad last time that you saw me. Lately I've been doing alright. Won a tournament last week in Oklahoma City. Hustled half of this town tonight. I got some cocaine if you want some. It's the best I could find. Here we could just sit here and talk all night. That big old guy out in your car don't mind like old time. Screw off the top on a bottle of wine. We're living on our own kind of American dreams, just like old time. Goes always the same as mine. You didn't want to get your fishing line in that old Main Street. No, I ain't expecting anybody but you. I don't know who this could be at the door. I'm pretty sure that you've got a clue, and I bet you've been to this hotel before. But do you know what? In the bathroom, but you don't flush it down just yet. Put your pager in my suitcase, I'll get the window. You'll have a cigarette, it'll be like the old times. Just like the old time. Living out our own kind of American dream, just like old time. Your goal was always the same as mine. You didn't want to throw your fishing line in that old Main Street. No, sir, officer, you don't understand. We're just two old friends drinking wine. I'm sure she is, but that's not all she is. She's also an old friend of mine. I got a high school picture right here in my wallet. 1982. No, sir, officer, no offense taken. You have a good night, too. Baby, turn up the radio. I'm pretty sure those cops knew what we were up to. I guess they just decided to let us go. Oh, don't make such a thing about the picture. That was just something I care. Hey, don't get all sentimental on me now, girl. You haven't even told me what your new name is. You're like old times, just like the old times. Living our own kind of American dreams, just like old times. Your goal's always the same as mine. You didn't want to throw your fishing line in that old mainstream, and you didn't. I sure do appreciate y'all coming out tonight. I feel like I know so many of you. But this is for that friend of yours that you dragged out. If you never heard me play before, my name's Todd Snider. I've been driving around this country for more than 15 years. I make these songs up and I sing them for anybody that'll listen to them. Some are sad, some are funny, some are short, some will seem like they go on forever. Sometimes I may ramble on for as many as 18 minutes in between a particular song. I want to let you know that I also might share some of my opinions with you over the course of the evening. I'm not going to share them with you because I think they're smart or because I think you need to know them. I'm going to share them with you because they rhyme. I didn't come down here to change any of y'all's minds about anything. I come down here to ease my own mind about everything. It works every time. With that said, I want to thank y'all for giving me a chance to do this for you again. If everything goes particularly well this evening, we can all expect a 90-minute distraction from our impending doom. This one go like this. Tension, 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 it's all that I know. Whoa, I've got tension in my health food, got tension in my exercise, I got tension and it's everywhere that I go. After the bad guy killed off all the underdeveloped characters, the good guy put a bullet right through his head. And the screenwriter stood up and he told us that all the loose ends had been tied. He said justice is irrelevant. Violent problems need violent solutions. Because in America, we like our bad guys dead. Preferably after some kind of kick-ass car chase or something. Tension, tension, tension is all that I know. I got tension out in traffic, I got tension in my office, I've got tension and it's everywhere that I go. Oh. Well, they roped off all of my problems and they pointed their fingers at drug addiction. I think it's because they know if you're the one doing the pointing, nobody's looking at you. But you know this war on drugs is funded by a Tobacco and Alcohol Commission. It's not really what drugs that you're strung out on they care about so much as whose. People still dig drugs. Shit. I live in East Nashville. Smells like a skunk farm over there. Tension, tension, tension is all that I know. Oh, I got tension in my courthouse, tension in my White House. I've got tension and it's everywhere that I go. When rock and roll first came around, it seemed like preachers all went crazy. Pretty soon, though, that wasn't enough to get anybody in the door. So now they jump on just about any scandal that they have to try and save me because they know that I don't buy that bullshit about the devil's music anymore. Gay people getting married. Ooh. That's what scares people that don't have shit all else to be scared of these days. Tension, tension, tension is all that I know. I got tension in my traffic, got tension in my office, I've got tension and it's everywhere that I go. And I go, yeah, I go. I got another story song for you. About an old guy who feels like his lot in life isn't his fault. In fact, he's convinced of it. But rather than be upset about it, he chooses to comfort those who share his lot with him. It's also about the environment and shit. Real deep stuff. I come from not far from here a long time ago. Spent years on the mountain before they even built this town below. I had a place on the ridge with a view for miles around until the day those men came up and dragged me into town. Oh, the shame what they did to me. Oh, a crying shame. It was a shame the way they treated me. Back in town, they beat me down so bad, I passed into something else. When I awoke, I looked, I couldn't even recognize myself. Completely covered in useless information anybody looking could see, chucked in the back of a truck with a rubber band stuck around what's left of me. Next thing I know, I'm thrown in a yard where I wait a while, and then this old man walks out in a bathrobe. He picks me up and he walks me back in, and he frees me from that rubber band, all right, but then it seems like a flash. He glanced me over once and then he threw me in the trash. Well, that's how I ended up on this old landfill here lying around, waiting on this big old pile of garbage we're on to work its way back underground, where I hope to grow up big and tall again, maybe even right here on this very spot. I know that might seem like a pipe dream to you, but Dollface, that's all I got. Seems to think the world was made for him, and that might be true, but there's a crack in every sidewalk where the grass breaks through. You know what I'm saying, baby? Stick with me. Someday you may have it made in the shade of a tree. You know what I'm saying, baby? Stick with me. Here, let me try this one. We wrote our names up in the tunnel back when Coos Bay was as far away as we'd ever been. Pine trees climbing up a rolling hill, fishing boats and paper mills. Multnomah County's where I come from. It's the hometown of Bigfoot and the Burnside Bomb. Rain clouds hanging down low and gray. God knows how I wish it would have rained today. Tonight I've got those old Rose City blues. Tonight I've got those old Rose City blues. Tonight I'm riding through some other town. I got the radio on with the windows down. Old song comes on from a long time ago. How on earth did that DJ know? But tonight I've got those old Rose City blues. But tonight I've got those old Rose City blues. Rain, 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 pouring rain doesn't bother me. This song about Oregon. I don't know if any of y'all ever been out there. That's where I'm from, bro. Come from a town called Beaverton, Oregon. If you got a half hour or an hour or so, can I tell you this song make more sense? This song is I guess the word is inspired. That's what people say when they make shit up. Back in my hometown, there's this tunnel called the Multnomah County Tunnel, where when you're a senior in high school, you're supposed to go down there at night and get out of a car and write your name in the tunnel. But you don't have to use paint to do it because it's a tunnel, so all the exhaust fumes create all this dirt, and you can just take a rag and clean your name into the side of it. It's not really technically vandalism, but it's dangerous, and it's an exciting thing for teenagers to do. And when I was a teenager, I did that. I wrote, you could write anything. You could just write your name, or you could write your school name, or you could write that you ruled, or that you kicked ass. In fact, I chose Todd Snider rules. And then I also put class of '85 rules. Then I went on and became a folk singer, started traveling around. A few years later, I guess a long time later, I was a folk singer and I would come through my hometown every once in a while. Back then I didn't have my buddy Elvis with me, not the night I made this up. Elvis is the guy that's helping me out tonight. Yeah, good guy, huh? Back then I had this guy named Spike. He wasn't even the guy. He was a chick. But he really looked like he was a girl that really looked like a guy. Took us a long time to figure out that it was a girl. Not none of my, I'm for that stuff. I'm for that type of stuff in any way, shape, or form. That's not even where this story's going. But one night I was coming home to play a hometown show, and I was riding through the country with old Spike, and we came up to the Multnomah County Tunnel, and I said, Spike, when I was a kid, I come down into this tunnel my senior year, and I wrote that I ruled. And she said, And then that night, we did the show, and a bunch of my old friends from high school were at the show, and we decided to go out after the show, and they all were into karaoke at the time, so that's what we did. And I sang Sweet Child of Mine, karaoke, and we drank, and there was pitchers of beer, and they weren't very expensive, and we went through them, man. And then, the next morning, I get up, and we got to get down to California, and Spike gets me in the old van, and we start heading down, and we start coming back through that Multnomah County Tunnel. And as I get closer, I can see there's something written in there. And I get real close, it says, Todd Snider rules. And I said, Spike, tell me that I didn't do that. She said, you don't remember doing that? I said, God damn it, Spike. You think you're out here because I give a shit if I'm in tune? This is what you're supposed to do. I'm almost 40. I shouldn't be writing that I rule in tunnels. And I blame you, frankly. Thank you. Anyway, about a year later, I guess it was a few months later, I got back home though, and the tour was over, and I had a phone call from an old friend of mine that was out of town when the show happened. She said, how was your show? I said, I think it went pretty good. She said, it must have gone pretty good, because one of your fans went down into the Multnomah County Tunnel and wrote that you ruled. We wrote our names up in the tunnel back then. Then last night we went down and did it again. One sip too many from that old loving cup. Rose City people never do grow up. But tonight I've got those old Rose City blues. But tonight I've got those old Rose City blues. Y'all feel like singing a little? They named that goddamn kiss-ass Handelman Vice President of Human Resources or something. He stood up and made a speech about how we would all have to work even harder now. I thought, harder now? Harder at what? I'd give anything to get up and walk out of here, but I'm stuck on the corner. Sanity and madness. Looking them over, can't see a difference. We're making money out of paper, paper out of trees. We're making so much money we can hardly breathe. You ought to hear the shit that I get from my daughter. She says she can't stand the sight of the car I bought her. It's gonna ruin her life forever. She don't ride a rag top. Her and her mother spend my money pretty much non-stop. They're trying to break me for the sake of this neighborhood. They want everybody up and down the street to think we're doing good. We're stuck on the corner. Sanity and madness. Looking them over. Can't see a difference. Making money out of paper, paper out of trees. We're making so much money we can hardly breathe. I didn't even want to study economics. My parents made me cause they said it would be practical. I can't make my kid do a goddamn thing I tell him to. That kid's an unrepentant radical. He is as unimpressed by all these plaques in my cubicle as I'm secretly impressed with his ability to look at everything so completely irresponsibly. I'm stuck on the corner. Sanity and madness. Looking them over. Can't see a difference. Making money out of paper, paper out of trees. I'm making so much money we can hardly breathe. Now I've got to call that little pecker Mr. Handelman. Drove home from work as mad as I had ever been, and then I nearly jerked a kid out of a drive-through window. He said, will that be everything? I said, what would you know? You're looking at a man about to buy his kid a rag top. What are you driving? A bicycle, you little punk. I'm stuck on the corner. Sanity and madness. Looking them over. Can't see a difference. Making money out of paper, paper out of trees. I'm making so much money we can hardly breathe. Wait till it comes around. Standing out on the edge of a building, I'm watching the traffic below. Drinking a beer, thinking of jumping, not far from ready to go. Below me the crowd slowly gathers around. Cop cars with news cameras too. I can't get out of this pain that I'm in. I don't know what else to do. Sometimes I feel like I'm so uninvited, like something so out of touch. They tell me depression runs in our family. That doesn't help me much. Crowds yelling jump over a cop on a bullhorn. It's making him kind of hard to hear. He's yelling something about having so much to live for. I'm almost through with this beer. Squinting my eyes to see through the sunlight. This crowd's even bigger now. There's no point in wondering what afterlife's like. Don't matter anyhow. We're already in hell, as far as I can tell. Just listen to these people scream. This feels like a rally in a high school field house. I feel like the captain of a team. Well, here goes the captain of your team. Follow the light to the Garden of Eden. Stand at the pearly gate. St. Peter comes over, puts his hand on my shoulder. He's telling me that I've got to wait. He says, you know, you can't kill yourself and still expect to come in here, kid. But you look like a victim of circumstance. So I'm just gonna break every bone in your body and give you another chance. Waking up slowly, looking around me. It's this lonely recovery room. But closing my eyes, I can see a new sunrise over acres of flowers in bloom. I don't know when it will be, but the next time you see me, I'll be tapping to a whole new beat, walking souls into the holes of my shoes, down the sunny side of some street. Sunshine. See these speakers here in front of me, these are different than the ones that you guys are hearing. So if I wanted to hear something louder or softer than was what everybody else wanted to hear, I could do that right here, and it would still sound okay to all y'all. Also, if something happens or he wants to say something to me like, 10 more minutes, not you in particular, but the sound man. So if the sound man wanted to say something to me, even if I was singing a song right in the middle of it, he could be like, "You're drunk, get off." And none of y'all would hear it. See my point? So one night I'm playing in this town called Chattanooga, outside, and the guy on the soundboard, I'm singing some song, some folk shit about the trees or the wolves or whatever. And the sound man asked me through the monitors so no one else can hear, he says, "Hey man, do you like NASCAR racing?" That's all. And the trees. And then go right back into, I just sort of nodded at him like, yeah, I'd like that. And then I went back into the song. And he comes back in and says, "You want to meet Bill Elliott, the NASCAR driver?" Right while I'm singing the song. "Hey man, you want to meet Bill Elliott?" And then went right back into whatever I was doing. Then I go, then right after the show's over, I go upstairs into this dressing room where I'll have like free celery, free carrots, free beer, ranch dip, towels, all kinds of shit that I gave it to me tonight for nothing. I got a ton of it. So I'm sitting in that area where that stuff is, and they come with Bill Elliott. I was very excited. It's my brother's hero. That was my main thing. I was like, my brother loves the NASCAR, and Bill Elliott just happens to be his favorite one. So I'm like, this is exciting to me. So he comes in. He doesn't even look at us. He's knee-deep in our ranch dip and shit, and clearly drunk, right? Oh, golly. Well, you know, these guys, what do? They turn left at 200 miles an hour for 3 hours. So, I don't know. I didn't say it was my hero, right? I could probably do that. So, I'm watching this guy eat all our shit and pour himself one of our drinks. He turns around and introduces himself. I'm Bill Elliott. This is very exciting. I give him my guitar. I say, maybe you sign my guitar. He writes his name across all of it, like not very tasteful or not like on Willie's guitar or anything. You'll never use it again. It looks like something you could win at a car race now, you know. So I don't use it anymore. I still have it, but I can't use it because it's distracting to people. So I think, wow, my brother's hero though, you know. So I'm gonna go be polite, I guess. So then I think I'll call my brother. I call my brother, wake him up in the middle of the night, and I'm telling you, I've been coming to Chicago for years. This guy immediately uses a bunch of words that I wouldn't even use in front of all y'all, including the words that just women hate, right? And right in the room is this wonderful woman who's provided all the celery and stuff. She's like the promoter who did the whole show for us. And I'm like, a good thing this guy can drive fast and turn left because he's a dick, you know? He's a dick. And I've known some and been some. And I'm thinking jerk. So we try to salvage this thing. We all think, well, let's go for a drink with Bill Elliott, you know? My brother's hero. And we start walking to the bar, and it's me and my buddy Will, and I'll never forget that night, we made up a song. It was more like one of them Weird Al songs. So we were singing the whole way up to the bar. We were singing, Mo Bandy, when you came and you sang with Joe Stampley, it blew us away. And we're singing, you know, drunk people walk down the street and sing. So that's what we were doing. And we get to the bar, and we sit down, and we say, Elliot, man, you want a drink? It's on us, man. We just played. We're celebrating. He's like, sure, man. He orders the most expensive fucking thing they have. And then he goes up to take a leak, and I swear to you, the bartender runs across the bar and goes, hey, you guys, that guy didn't tell you he was Bill Elliott, did he? Swear to God. Swear to God. That happened. My first thought was, well, this ain't my fucking brother's hero at all. This fucking guy is my hero, man. My landlady treats me like I don't pay my rent. It's called my mechanic and I ain't seen it since. The phone is always ringing. I don't want to be alone. They're trying to sell me everything from heaven to cologne. Everybody's got an offer that I just can't refuse. It's a circus out here, mama. Your baby's got them sideshow blues. Well, it's all a big commercial. It's the video of man. It's a plot to put an end to my attention span. They make all these issues I never understood. If I thought I could change things, I'd run out to Hollywood. But it's so hard to kick a door down when you ain't wearing no shoes. It's a circus out here, mama, and baby got them sideshow blues. Got them sideshow blues. I want to tame a lion. They centering rich kids. They're not even trying. Go from college to the big top, taking all of the best positions while I'm out in this tent with all these freaks and musicians. Out in this tent with all y'all freaks and musicians. I'm on in them sideshow blues. I try to tell my girlfriend she's the only one that I got. There's a girl I hardly even know that keeps on telling her that she's not. She's got a loaded pistol, waves it all the time. She says sometimes you have to kill a boy just to keep his ass in line. At least that's the way she sees it. She says she saw it on the news. Say circus out here, mama, baby's got them sideshow blues. People play satanic records, man. You don't know when they'll freak. From a quiet kid into a maniac into a movie of the week. We're killing over cocaine, we're dying over sex. We're bowing down and praying to whoever gonna cut some checks. And then I go to church on Sunday, and brothers and sisters, let me tell you something, I cannot help but sleep in the pew. It's a circus out here, mama, your baby's got them sideshow blues. It's a circus out here, mama, hey, your baby's got them sideshow blues. See y'all in just a second.